guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So as I mentioned in my last video, we were just finishing up the garage, got a few more things to do, but we are going to be jumping right back onto the M3, getting a few modifications on the car. One of the things I mentioned was actually a few more carbon fiber pieces. So over here I have some carbon fiber from Horizon Motorsports. These are the carbon fangs and these are the carbon eyebrows. So if you look up front here, I have a few little carbon pieces, but up front specifically, we have the Autotechnic CS style front lip and then the OEM M Performance carbon splitters. So what I wanted to do was have it blend in a little bit more and add a few more pieces. Now I've actually had these sitting around for a little while, but these are really, really nice. So if you look right here, this is the carbon fiber eyebrow. This is simply going to get rid of all of this kind of chrome and silver up here. It's gonna hide it and give it a nice little look, but it's gonna look pretty cool sitting on there and gives it a nice little touch there. My overall goal eventually is to take these headlights over to my buddy Caesar from Lightworks, get them completely opened up and paint all of the chrome and silver in here a really nice black. We may add some mineral gray metallic detail in there, so this right here and also that right there, maybe in some mineral gray just to give it a little bit of detail. But we're gonna do that, get everything painted, and it's gonna look much better. But in the meantime, we're gonna add some carbon fiber. Now I have a few pieces from Horizon Motorsports. I have these side skirts as well as the rear diffuser, and these are no different in terms of the quality. The weave is beautiful, there's no weird pulls or anything, and yes, it is real carbon fiber. Same thing with the fangs that go up front here. As you can see, real carbon fiber. The fangs go down on this piece right here, so it's gonna tie in really nicely and look pretty darn good. So I'm looking forward to getting those on. It's gonna be a really nice subtle detail without being too much. That's one of the reasons why I loved mineral gray metallic, is because when you put carbon on there, it's not like it's in your face and stands out too much. It blends in just enough, but you can tell it's there when you look up close. So let me go ahead and install this. Pretty straightforward. They do supply some double-sided tape with the kits for either piece. These are separate. You can't buy these together. You have to buy these separately. So I'm probably going to start on the fangs first, get those knocked out, and then we can jump up to the eyebrows up here. I just want to mention as well, my entire car, as well as the headlights, all the front bumper, pretty much almost the whole entire car is PPF'd. So it is really nice for that. So it won't touch the paint, it won't touch any of the plastics or anything that we're going to be putting the double-sided tape on. So it's just kind of added extra protection for over the years and everything. And yeah, so you could obviously put it right on the paint or right on the plastic of the headlight, but in my case, it's nice to have the PPF, so it protects the paint from any double-sided tape or anything. So, all right, let me go ahead, get these pieces cleaned up, and then I'll show you how to install these. All right, so I got the passenger side fang all taped up. This is how I ended up doing it. I just went around the perimeter, and then I did one up here as well, since that's going to come in contact with the bumper. But as you can see, that is what everything looks like. They did supply the double-sided tape. It's clear tape, which is nice. I don't like the gray tape that is normally supplied, the double-sided tape, just because you can end up seeing it underneath sometimes when it's kind of squished out. But this is nice and thin, so it's gonna look really nice. So all I'm gonna do is peel off the backing, the red backing, and then make sure this is clean. So I'm just gonna wipe this down with some IPA, make sure it's all good to go, and then just position it and stick it on. So it's as simple as that, but let's go ahead and get this cleaned up. All right guys, so we got both sides installed. Fit and finish, again, is beautiful. It fits very, very well. I did apply some heat on either side to make sure all the edges were tacked down nice and even. And it looks really good. I'm really happy with the look, finish and everything. There's nothing popping out, doesn't look out of place or anything. Everything just slid in very, very nicely. Completely covers the whole entire section. You know, what you see right here, that's just a PPF. That's not a scratch. Just wanted to mention that. But yeah, everything's really good. Everything looks great. Flows really nicely with all the carbon up front and just adds a nice little detail to the front end like that. And I think it's a nice, cool touch. So now we're gonna go ahead and jump onto the headlights. These are a little bit simpler to install. This is a flatter surface, whereas that is kind of angled and bent a little bit. So this one's gonna go, I think, much easier. Not that these weren't easy, but this is just gonna lay much flatter and be a little bit easier to kind of manipulate. They're really thin, so you're able to kind of bend them to where they need to be. If it was too thick, they just wouldn't fit right. But let's go ahead, I'll install this one on camera for you guys and show you the finished look. All right, guys, so I got both sides on, both the eyebrows and the fangs. Everything is complete. Everything looks great, and I'm really happy with the overall fitment and everything. There's no weird areas where it's popping out or anything like that. I did use some extra double-sided tape. I used the wider extreme mounting tape for the corners over here. I actually used that same stuff on the M Performance rear spoiler. It holds it nice and strong, and it hasn't budged at all on the lip spoiler over there. So figured I would use some in kind of key areas to make sure it's not gonna pop up. And overall, I'm very, very happy with the fitment, the finish, and obviously the look. So obviously, as I mentioned, my main kind of focus for the headlights is to get them sent out to Lightworks, open them up, and just paint everything so we don't have to run this carbon little eyebrow up here. But I figured might as well. I had it for a couple months actually, so I figured I would just throw it on just to see if I like the look, and I do. And down here I think looks fantastic as well with all the other carbon. Just kind of flows really nicely. And as I mentioned, carbon flows really nice on mineral gray metallic. It's subtle, and if you look up close you can notice it. Like underneath here you can't even almost tell it's carbon until you actually get up close and look, and everything looks beautiful. So there's actually one more piece that I wanted to throw on the car in this video, and that is actually the charge cooler cover. So I do have one coming from One Vision Performance. It's actually supposed to arrive tomorrow, so we're gonna throw that on in this video. I don't want to make a single video just on that, but the one I got is really nice. I was gonna go with a carbon one, but I do have a lot of carbon in this engine bay, and I almost didn't want to overdo it, so I got a nice black aluminum one. It's actually one piece. It's not the two-piece ones. I'm not a big fan of them. It has the M3 logo with the tri-M colors, and it says competition right next to it. So again, as I mentioned, most likely I'm going to change this out to an aftermarket charge cooler, most likely a Wagner. That's kind of the way that I'm leaning at this point. I'm also looking at a few other ones, but Wagner is kind of where I'm leaning. I think that's the best one, to be honest, out of all the research I kind of done and everything. So probably go that route, but for now, I figured get a little cover. It's not that expensive, and we'll throw it on. But everything looks great. I'm going to actually ceramic coat these right now. I'm just going to use some G-Technic CSL and XOV4, get that coated so everything stays nice and pretty and looking good. But yeah, simple install, just some double-sided tape. The only hard part is kind of positioning everything where it needs to be. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty cool, and it's a nice little touch, and it gets rid of that silver up top especially. But fangs down here look awesome with all the other carbon. Once we get that on, I'll take the car out and we'll get some exterior shots so you guys can see it a little bit better instead of in the garage here. But yeah, so I'll catch back up with you guys tomorrow with the charge cooler cover, and then we'll take the car out and get some outside shots. All right, guys, following day, and the charge cooler cover has arrived. This thing is extremely nice. This is by One Vision Performance. As you can see, it's one piece. I've seen these charge cooler covers come in two pieces. So one piece is the top, and then there's a separate piece for the side. So I wanted to find one that was one complete piece, so it looks nice and uniform and clean. Again, I saw this in carbon, which looked really nice, but I think the black aluminum is just gonna kind of break things up a little bit, even though it is black. But I did like the M colors in there. The only thing that was disappointing about this was the colored stripes. So underneath, as you can see, it's just taped on, which is okay. It would have been nice if it was like a metal insert, but I don't know, whatever. It simply just lays right on there, and it slips underneath that outlet right there, and it's gonna look way better. So what I'm gonna do is same thing, clean it up with some IPA, take off the double-sided tape, and throw it on. I did a really quick test fit, and it fit really nicely, nice and snug, and there's no gapping or anything like that, so it's kind of hard to screw up. But you can get whatever you want in terms of the saying on here. You can just get M3 without the competition. You can get M2, M4, what have you. You can even get one that's completely blank if you wanted to. So there's some options, which is really nice. But I figured since mine's a competition, might as well. So let's go ahead and get this installed, and then tomorrow I'll show you everything in the daytime. right, so we got it installed. I gotta say, it looks way better. Although the double-sided tape that it does come with is pretty darn cheap. It came right off. It wasn't sticking at all. I don't know if the coating or whatever on the actual charge cooler is causing it not to stick. I cleaned it really well with some IPA. So I just ended up using some stronger double-sided tape, and now it's on there very firm, not going anywhere. So just a forewarning, if you're going to use the tape provided, it's not going to stick very well. So get your own double-sided tape and it's going to work much better. So there we go. We got everything installed. We got the carbon fiber eyebrows over here. We got the carbon fangs down there and the new charge cooler cover. So again, this is just a temporary fix to get it looking somewhat decent before we change over to the full charge cooler upgrade. Again, as I mentioned, probably gonna go with a Wagner, but for now, figured I'd throw something on there. It was only about $100 for that little cover. And I just think it looks way better for the time being. As you can see, I took the car cover off because I'm gonna be driving it this week. It's supposed to be beautiful. So I'm gonna get some driving in before we send the car off to Auto Couture to get some work done. But yeah, it's looking beautiful in the garage, and I'm very excited to drive this tomorrow and the rest of the week. It's gonna be absolutely beautiful. Looks amazing in this garage. And it's so nice to just take the car cover off and have a perfectly clean car. So, all right, I'm gonna catch back up with you guys tomorrow, give you a better look, and then we can wrap the video up. Guys, following day, wanted to get to you some exterior shots in the daytime. Absolutely love how this turned out. Really just tied everything together with the front lip and the splitters and everything. It just flows really nicely and looks pretty darn incredible. The fitment is fantastic. There's no weird gaps or anything like that. Here's a quick look at the charge cooler cover. I think it looks really nice, blends in really nice with the engine bay, and it kind of gets rid of that ugly silver. So really happy with that look as well. But again, everything I do to this car, it always turns out incredible. It always makes me appreciate this car even more, especially now that the weather is getting a little bit warmer. It's amazing to get out and just drive this car and enjoy it. But we got quite a bit planned for this car. I actually went over everything that I'm planning in the next couple weeks, so stay tuned for all those videos. We're going to be going for more power and getting the crank up done and everything like that. So I'm excited to take this to the next level and enjoy this car even more this season. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to leave a link below for all of the carbon and the charge cooler cover if you guys are interested in picking them up. Highly recommend them. Fitment is perfect, looks fantastic, and very easy to install. So if you have any questions at all, be sure to ask them below. In the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.